At a time when sustainability and resource conservation are becoming increasingly important, reusing older electronic devices is a practical way to extend the life of those devices. This video explores the reason why installing Linux on an older Mac can be a viable option. We will highlight the benefits of this decision both from an environmental and functional perspective. Let's give it a start. One of the main problems faced by owners of older Mac computers is the fact that Apple discontinues support for these devices over time. This means that new macOS versions can no longer be installed on these older models, and the security updates for older macOS versions are also only offered for the two predecessors. While this is often done for technical reasons from Apple's point of view, it results in users having to use outdated operating systems that no longer receive the latest security updates and features. This can compromise the security of the system and affect the ability of the device to keep up with the demands of modern software. For Apple, this is good because many Apple customers remain loyal and then buy a new Mac computer. Unfortunately, for your wallet and the environment, this is not so great. Linux, the open source operating system, offers a solution to this problem. One of the outstanding features of Linux is its ability to run on a wide range of hardware, regardless of age and specifications. This makes Linux an attractive option for those who want to revive older hardware. Another advantage of Linux is the variety of distributions available. There are numerous Linux variants, so-called distributions, tailored to the needs and requirements of different users. Some of these distributions are specially optimized for older hardware. They are resource efficient, slim, and can even be installed on older Mac computers without problems. By installing Linux on an older Mac, users have access to up-to-date and secure software packages. Linux distributions are continuously maintained and updated, which means that security holes are quickly closed and users can benefit from the latest features. This is a big advantage compared to older macOS versions, which are no longer updated. Installing Linux on an older Mac can significantly extend the life of this machine. Instead of abandoning it due to outdated software and declining performance, users can revive their Mac with Linux and continue to use it as a powerful workstation. This not only makes good business sense, but is also environmentally responsible as it helps reduce e-waste. Does that all sound well and good? But now you're asking yourself how to install Linux? I will show you this in the next chapter. In principle, installing Linux on a Mac is no different from the process of installing Linux on a normal PC. First, we have to decide on a distribution. If you are used to macOS and want to stay true to this concept, I recommend starting with Ubuntu for now. On my MacBook Pro 15 from 2014, there is no new macOS update coming anymore. Big Sur was the last version of macOS to officially run on this MacBook. There are tools that allow you to install versions that have not been released for the device, but for me this was always a big risk. Does it work tomorrow? What about after an update? Is it still running? Who knows? So I decided that Linux would run on this MacBook. So I installed Ubuntu 22.04 LTS, and thanks to the free Ubuntu Pro subscription, this MacBook will get security patches until 2032. You heard me right, until 2032. Ubuntu 22.04 LTS gets 5 years of regular LTS support. That would be until 2027. Thanks to Ubuntu Pro, security updates will then be provided for another 5 years. I can't promise that this Apple device will run or be in use until 2032, but just the idea that supply is assured makes me feel very good. So, back in the plan. The key points look like this. We need to download the ISO image of Ubuntu and then flash it onto a USB stick. A tool like Etcher is useful for this. Then we connect the USB stick and switch on the Mac. But we want to boot from USB, which we do by holding down the Alt key during the startup. Now you can have a look at Ubuntu directly in the live mode and make your first experience if it is something for you or not. If the answer is not no, you can install. If you don't like Ubuntu, then maybe you should have a look at Elementary OS, Linux Mint or Zorin OS for instance. These alternatives are all based on Ubuntu LTS but have different graphical interfaces. But now, finally to the technical part. The first step is to download the Ubuntu ISO file. To do this, go to the Ubuntu page, click on Download at the top and then Get Ubuntu Desktop. In the next screen, click on Download Ubuntu 22.04. Download the ISO file completely. This will take a few minutes. In the meantime, we go to the Etcher page. In the second step, click on Download Etcher. Depending on which platform you're on, choose the appropriate Etcher file. I have Linux here, so I use the app image file for Linux. Do not continue until the Etcher file and the Ubuntu ISO have been downloaded completely. By the way, if you use the app image, you still have to make it executable to be able to start it. Once Etcher is open, click on the blue button on the left and select the Ubuntu ISO. Then connect the USB stick to the computer and click on the blue button in the middle section. Select the USB stick and click on the blue button again. In the right part, click on Flash and enter your user password. The flash process will now begin. This can take a few minutes. As soon as this is finished, you can remove the USB stick and switch off the Macintosh computer. Now connect the USB stick to the Mac and switch it on. Then press and hold the Alt key until a selection appears on the screen. Here we select the yellow hard disk. Shortly afterwards, the boot manager appears. We leave Try or Install Ubuntu pre-selected and can press Enter. In the first screen, we are asked if we want to install or try Ubuntu. In the left column, you can choose your preferred language and then select Try Ubuntu. Ubuntu will then start from memory in live mode. In the live mode, you can try out the full system without deleting or changing the existing macOS operating system. So now you have the possibility to get familiar with Ubuntu without any risk. If you don't like it, you can shut down the system and either continue using macOS or try another Linux distro. If you like the whole thing, you can click on Install Ubuntu. The button should be at the bottom right of the desktop. Then the installation process begins. This now is very comfortable and guides you through step by step. But please note that before you install Ubuntu, you should make a backup of your data. Time Machine won't help because Ubuntu can't handle it. So take care of backing up your data manually. Some might say that Ubuntu is not without controversy because of some of Canonical's decisions. Canonical is the company behind Ubuntu that takes care of the development of Ubuntu and all products around Ubuntu. I don't like all the decisions Canonical make either. For my part, I have decided that the advantages that Ubuntu 22.04 LTS offers me on the MacBook clearly overweigh the disadvantages. Short key points. I have not removed the Canonical or Ubuntu Container Solution snap on my MacBook. The reason for this is that I can use the full function of Ubuntu Pro with regards to Live Patch. I deleted the Firefox browser provided via Snap. Instead, I had installed the alternative Flatpak and installed Firefox as a Flatpak container. I had deliberately decided against the Firefox option from the Mozilla PPA. So, Firefox as Flatpak. This is a pretty good compromise for me, so I want to continue running the MacBook Pro with Ubuntu 22.04 LTS. Whether I will switch to a newer LTS version of Ubuntu, such as Ubuntu 24.04, is not certain. The MacBook runs nearly perfectly with Ubuntu 22.04 LTS, and there's an old IT saying, never change a running system. I would like to mention one point, honestly. If you just leave the MacBook on battery power, it is sometimes empty the next day. So the energy mode doesn't always work reliably. Normally, it should automatically go into standby after a few minutes. That doesn't always work. As a workaround, I close the device and everything works fine. This is a little tip if you also have this problem on a MacBook with Linux. So let's come to the conclusion. Supporting all the hardware is one of the most challenging tasks in the ever-evolving world of technology. Installing Linux on an older MacBook offers a viable solution to transforming outdated hardware into a powerful and up-to-date system. With resource efficiency, secure software, and a wide range of distributions to choose from, Linux offers attractive alternatives to macOS for those who want to extend the life of their Mac computer while promoting environmental sustainability. If you like this video, feel free to leave a channel subscription, hit the thumbs up button, and activate the bell. Thank you for the kind attention, ladies and gentlemen. See you soon. Peace.